Hi everyone, Sara Belmonte here for our monthly series of Behind the Scenes with the Preneur. We have an amazing entrepreneur who I love dearly, Gina Lopez, who's going to be on with us. Now she had over $250,000 of debt and got out of debt. But not only did she get out of debt, she slowly learned about a really unique career opportunity. So make sure you stay tuned for our YouTube live behind the scenes with the Preneur. Thanks for joining us. My name is Sara Belmonte. I am mom mentor and owner of Design Remodel Pros, here bringing you business tips on YouTube, book reviews, and of course, interviews with entrepreneurs you need to know, businesses you need to know. It is so important to get to know the ins and outs, the story behind a business and the heart behind the business, because it will make you stronger. If I had known these people, if I had had the mentorship, I cannot imagine what kind of business owner I would be. So if you're looking for that kind of place, stay tuned because we have more. We'll share our links with you, and be sure to visit our new website, momsoutmarketing.com. So, all right, without further ado, I want to introduce you to a very good friend of mine. We immediately hit it off when we met, and it has just been a beautiful journey mompreneuring together. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to Gina Lopez with Consulta Finance of Five Rings Financial Company. All right, just a moment. Let me add her to the stream.
Hello.
Hi, Gina. Thanks so
How
much
are
for
you?
joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
I know you have so much going on this year and beautiful accolades so that you've earned. Oh my goodness. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Well, it takes a village, right?
Absolutely. And you know what? I love our mom village. Oh, who's
Yes.
that in the background?
My daughter's back here applauding for me too, because she's part of it.
They absolutely are. And I know you're just building a beautiful legacy. So tell me a little bit about you, and then we'll go into the more personal questions.
Well, so what can I say? One of the big things that I've told people recently, or in the last, and it was a friend of ours, and she was in our mom's group, had really kind of pointed out that most people kind of grow up with I want to be a business owner. I've always wanted to own a business. And I was more in the traditional side, like, I kind of like what I do. There's not really a reason why I would want a business. Never a thing in my dreams or anything. So I say now it became a business on accidents, but then our success has been on purpose because me and my husband, we work together. So that's already a thing. But I realized that once we realized what it means to be in business, all we had to do was bring all our skills that we've learned in the past in our traditional jobs and bring them here, and made us just as successful as when we were in a traditional job. So I come from the nonprofit world, social worker, caseworker type of helper. My husband was in the military. So we were very, happy in those situations. Now, like anything else, you have those weird things that you have to do, but we really enjoyed what we did. And if we had the opportunity, we would have stayed in the military life and the nonprofit world longer. We have 3 kids now. I grew up in El Paso, my husband, California. Our daughter's 23. She is starting to be a CPA. We have Liam, who'll be 5 in 2 weeks. And then we have a 9-month baby girl, Liana. So we're pretty busy with a lot of things with them. But this journey has been really neat. Now, everything's hindsight, right? And so we've learned so many things now as business owners, but also personally. And so we've learned, I think what we've seen as a whole is that you can make changes quickly if you want to, at any age or any situation. So if you've ever thought about being a business owner, or it's never been maybe even a thought, like for us, like, this is a time more than ever to just at least feel it, try it, ask questions, because you might not realize that, hey, I'm actually good at this and I didn't realize I could be. And that's kind of what happened to us.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I want to tell anybody who's doing this right now, you can actually ask questions live. So make sure you comment in the YouTube. Let us know if you're live or in the replay. let us know if you're in our mom tribe. We'd love to see your support for mompreneurs here, and definitely click subscribe for YouTube. So Gina, I have a question for you in regards to, you have 3 children. Do you see any of them kind of gearing up or just the little characteristics of them becoming an entrepreneur?
I think right now, because my oldest is 23 and she's finishing her master's and stuff, I think she's, what I have learned and kind of like you're realizing is what we do, the steps that we do, our kids are watching. And so one thing that I've been able to see with my daughter is that she loves what she's going to do as a CPA, but she's liking the idea that she doesn't have to stay in one lane. She could have that lane, she could have multiple lanes. Be a CPA and do other things, right? It's not like when we were growing up where it's you go to a work for 30 years, get a pension, and hopefully it works out. What she's learned is like, it doesn't matter at what age, you can make changes or add things. She doesn't have to be a CPA all her life, or she could do various things. And then the joke is that our little one, Liana, will probably be the entrepreneur with a business at 5 because she's with us all day, every day from Zoom. As you can hear her, she's always with us.
Yes.
So
she's ready for this, Mama.
Yeah, so she's the one that's gonna see the constant, where she's with us all the time because Liam's in school. But we just say that as a joke that she'll be the one, Mom, I want to do this when she's 5. So
I love it. Absolutely love that. So tell me, as a child, did you think you would be an entrepreneur?
This is probably not a good word to say, but heck no.
Hey, that's a very soft word. But that's probably the most we get right. My mom's on marketing.
Yeah, it's just I just thought the amount of responsibility that it took. I'm like, I want to go do my job and I'll do a great job and come home and I don't have to worry about the extra little things, So no, it was nothing. And honestly, I didn't have anybody around me to know that what it was to be a business owner. So that wasn't like a language or a thought of, and I actually thought people who had a business, like, because they had a lot of money. That was my first thought. They have to have a lot of money to have a business. So that's not me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So let me ask you, are there some things that you wish you had known before starting your business?
Yes, a lot. I think a lot of times people would say it takes time. But when you've never been in the lingo of business or small business or anything like that, I wish they could have broken that down to tell me, hey, Gina, the first year, this is how it's going to be. The second year and third year, this is how it's going to work out. Yes, you're going to have wins along the way, but I think the journey is a lot better of who you become versus the income that you're hoping for. Of course, we don't want the income. That's what we work hard for. But I never knew how it was going to change my life because I went into it like, how do I change other people's lives? But I changed our family, our kids' family, and everything we're doing. And just being patient about it. We're sold so many times as get rich quick schemes, get a business and be a millionaire by sitting down and watching TV. And that's really not true. So I had to balance and understand that in anything great that you do, it's going to take time, and it starts with small habits, like literally small habits.
Absolutely. It is everyday habits, everyday practices that make a huge difference. And
well, they compound. You don't realize they compound. Like it just
compound interest, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it just in the same exactly. But it's just like I didn't realize that even in business, all those steps reap later on. It's just in the beginning when you're trying to like do everything, you want it all to work out right away.
Yes, and I love that we're kind of talking financial terms because, you're going to be our speaker on February 3rd.
Yes.
And, you talk about compound interest, right? But you also think of investment. How are you investing in yourself as a business owner? So these are all things that I love that we can talk about together as entrepreneurs.
Well, and it also, what the difference is, like when you're going to school in college, which is great. I'm all for it. Go to college. It's a great thing, especially if you're in a specialty. But there's a difference between investing financially in your college versus, investing in yourself. And I had never heard about investing in yourself until 4 years ago and what that meant personally, or reading books. And honestly, I'm like, that's kind of like lame. Like, I don't have time for that. Like, who reads books? I already went to college. Like, I'm super smart. But I didn't know what that meant for me personally. And now I'm like, okay, so those things that now that with our team that have never heard about professional development, now I make it a point to help them understand why reading a book, as lame as it sounds, is the most important thing you could do.
Yes, absolutely. And I know one of your favorite books is actually one, I think I introduced you to it, right?
Yes. The
Okay.
minimalist
Essentialism.
essentialism. Oh,
Yes, love that one. I just found it on my mom's shelf.
it changed my life.
It is. It's a great book. We actually have it on YouTube, a recap of it. So I can
Yes.
share that in the link. But now, can you tell me? We started talking a little bit about like financial talk. Can you tell me how you even got into your field?
Clearly it was not a passion or in my heart to do something like this. But 5 years ago, when my husband was in the military, he was already in it 20 years. And we loved the military life. I was in the nonprofit world and I loved it too. I loved helping people in so many ways. But he got sick. And, when you mentioned about how we got into debt, we were about $200,000 in debt because my husband needed a kidney transplant. I was about to have my son Liam, who's going to be 5 now. And so we quickly had to make changes, things that we weren't ready to make changes. But even though we had money saved, our savings account, we didn't have any debt even prior, even though we didn't realize we were being somewhat financially savvy. We didn't have any debt, but when he got really sick and, he lost a job, I'm not working. So now two people aren't working and the pension was not enough to help us. And like little things that just weren't expected from his health, our expenses went up. So the money that we had saved, it was gone within a year. I mean, we went through it so fast. Our credit card debt, because we didn't have anything else. I couldn't work. I was about 6 months pregnant at that time. My husband was on dialysis, so he couldn't take care of the babies. So it just became kind of like a snowball real quick that just came through. And through that time, what we realized, as hard as it was, and there was plenty of times that I'm gonna get teary-eyed because there was plenty of times I had to say no to a lot of things, like going to Chick-fil-A with my son, or sometimes even going to our mom's group. I was like, I cannot pay those $10, but I'm gonna pay it because I know it's gonna pay off later on. These little things that didn't make sense to me, but now hindsight, it was one of the most hard things to learn, but one of the best things I ever learned in my life, because through that, when we did get introduced to Five Rings Financial, of like helping people get out of debt and mainly how to help them save money. But as I learned through the journey of speaking to people and talking to people, and and then really understanding that nobody teaches us about money, that I felt like I had a responsibility, like I did before in my nonprofit world, that I had a responsibility to share the information, that nobody teaches us unless you actually go learn it, or you're going to learn the hard way like I did, and now we go back and we're able in 4 years pay off all our debt. So it's been 2 years now. This year will be 2 years that we've been financially independent, which usually takes people about 7 to 10 years. But we quickly got on the ball. We got all the basic principles that we didn't know. We read a lot of books. We did conferences to learn, because I was like, I will not ever go back to that feeling of that I can't pay $10. And it wasn't about getting to a certain number of money that we wanted to have. It was just the freedom that I can pay $10. I can do this without feeling that guilt or like, oh my God, is this going to affect my finances? And unfortunately, a lot of people are living in that situation, especially like with COVID. There's so many things that you couldn't expect to plan, but there's always a solution. But it does start with learning, asking questions, and it's going to come from your self-learning. It's not just going to like magically happen. So there's a lot of sacrifice that comes with it. But 4 years later, now in this business, I realized that my responsibility is just to share the information. And maybe it's not the time to start something, but maybe it is a time to help you get out of debt, or maybe find your money. That's another cool thing that we do. Let us help you find your money, because people are like, I don't have money, but we usually find a way. So it wasn't the career that I thought I would choose. I actually prayed away from it. I'm like, God, please take this out of me. I'm not good at this. I'm learning how to get out of debt. But God always kind of provided and said, nope, I need you. Keep sharing the information, and just opened a lot of opportunities.
Well, I think it's great that you've been in the trenches, and I think it makes you such a stronger, entrepreneur, someone who can really serve and educate your clients, because you understand how it felt. I mean, how it feels when there are those struggles, and it's about embracing the struggle, finding out that you can, what can you learn from it? And that's why it's beautiful that you educate so many people on wealth and money management. And it's something needed. And you also reach out to a particular market. Do you want to talk about
Yes.
that?
So my particular market, which I will talk to anybody, but I'm bilingual, me and my husband, but we do reach a lot to our Latino community. It shows that Latinos, Hispanics are 90 years behind when it comes to their finances. And it has a lot to do because of the language barrier. And then you're coming from other countries and stuff like that. So things are, when it comes to money, is very different. And you're trying to learn that here in the US. And just watching my parents and seeing them kind of struggle through their things and our family, and we kind of realized we knew the language and we knew how to read the books, but no matter what, if it was hard for me to understand this information or even get to it, it's even harder for our Hispanic community, Latino community. They're just underserved in a lot of things because of language. So that's, I could say, my heart. However, I'm always happy to help anybody because it doesn't matter what I've learned through the years being in the industry is every culture, every ethnicity, any race, however you want to identify, has lack of knowledge because they don't teach us. We have a particular group in Florida. They're called the Brazilianaires because they're all they do, everything is in Portuguese. Because even in their community, they're noticing like it doesn't matter what language, it's still a need.
Yes, absolutely. And so for your classes, you do them both in English and Spanish. You can
Yes,
offer them or are they
my
bilingual classes?
Yes. So to share a little bit about, I apologize, but this is really about being a mom and trying to balance it. My
Yes.
baby's right here. How we kind of go about with our business and how we do things a little bit different is we really want to educate people first. And this is not education on, this is what Gina thinks, this is what Firing Financial thinks. It's literally the basic principles that we should learn, kind of like how our kids learn adding and subtracting, right? Well, unfortunately, we weren't taught those principles when it comes to money. And so we talk about compound interest, we talk about understanding taxes, understanding how money grows, and then even life insurance. Like I said, it's all things that we're scared to talk about or might have heard something. But what we do is, however you want to do it, we do live events. We're about to do our first live or second live event. We did one last week in Fort Worth, but we're doing a live event on February 23rd. It is in English in Plano, but we also do virtual. We'll probably be a hybrid company for a while or probably long term. But if you're not ready to meet in person, we do an on-demand class. It's 30 minutes. We have it in English and Spanish. So please let us know. And one of the things that I always tell people is I don't feel like after that I'm going to hound you. It's great that I know about money, but I want to make sure you know about your money because that's most important than anything. So it's not a sales pitch. It's not like, here's what you got to do next. It's just opening the conversation so you can make right decisions or kind of realize, okay, what direction can I go to or what questions can I ask? Even if you're already working with somebody, maybe you already have somebody and you're like, you know what, I'm not sure, because sometimes the language could be a little out over our head. So we try to make it very simple for you to understand, but maybe you can go back to your advisor, or maybe you've thought about talking to somebody and ask some questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Gina. And I can really attest because I utilize some of her services and we did the $1 Million Baby. Is that correct?
Yes, the $1 Million Baby. So it's always a neat one to have. You know, we say it's always smart to start young with our kids. I mean, I wish my mom had started a $1 Million plan on me a long time ago.
I'm so mad at her. Life would have been so different if we
right
parents had this same education, you know.
Yeah, and you know, so it's like having, so we call it, you know, starting a $5 a plan or $1 Million Baby plan, because you know we want our kids to start small and start younger. And even though we might not be able to pay everything for them, I can promise you they'll be happy with something that you were able to provide or leave them with. The last thing I forgot to tell you is also about Wine Women and Wealth. I apologize, my baby's right here.
Good.
I'm just gonna put her on because she's not gonna stop crying.
Yeah. You're speaking of the cultures. I was thinking mattress money. That's that's
my mom was the sock.
Grew up, you know.
My mom was a sock lady. So and there's still things that she does that are kind of because she doesn't know, but it's just part of learning that. But our Why Women Wealth, the reason we have a specific event for women is because so now you have, people in English and Spanish, how they see money, but then you have women who look at money very differently. And so Why Women Wealth is a little bit of networking, a little bit of education, but also it gives you the principles of money. And it's really neat to hear women talk about money because we come from it in a different way. We look at it very differently. And whether you're married or not, you're usually the one that kind of makes those big decisions at the end of the day. And especially right now with how everything's changing, women are waiting longer to get married or have kids, or maybe they're a single mom. They need the information more than anything. And so it's great that maybe your husband might have the information, but just like we're so proud about everything that we learn as women, money needs to be one of the most important things because our kids are going to follow that. I used to hide the money in my sock too for a while. Just kind of the habits we pick up from our parents.
Yes, absolutely. And you will also be speaking on Wednesday. Can you give us a little bit of a teaser on that? It's
Yes.
February 3rd at 9:30 Zoom.
Yeah, so this is going to be a really cool I think kind of when you mentioned like what are some things you would have known as a business owner, and I think what I'm learning of what people need to learn about money, yes, the principles are great because those are important. They're going to work for you or not if you don't understand them. However, I want to talk about more about the psychology of money, and really understanding like, do you know how you feel about money? Is your parents telling you something about money that you've picked up that you didn't realize it's affecting you? And I think when you understand that there's so many layers to money, it gives you a better, I guess, feeling or confidence in how you approach your money or your business, or when you are seeing clients, because how you see it mentally or emotionally, it's going to show up in your business as well. No matter how you look at it. And it's just a lot of it comes from our parents, but it also comes from our society. We're built into being consumers and buying, and delayed gratification. And so it's understanding those principles that we forgot a long time ago that our parents probably were really good at, and understanding that we do have a relationship with money. But once you understand it, then everything becomes easier when it comes to your money. And it's no longer a scary topic or a taboo topic. It becomes like an empowering topic because then you get to share with your family, you get to share with your kids or your family members around you, because it's not, we all have a certain way of feeling about money. So I'm excited.
Yes, it's so true. And that's what I was writing in my blog. It's, how do you feel about money? And it's interesting. So tell us in the comments. I know we have some people live. How do you feel about money? Like, does that even, that sentence, how does it make you feel? Like, does it make you feel a little uncomfortable, or are you just like, hey, I want more? It's interesting to see how cultures, your upbringing, can affect that money mindset. So
Yes.
Wednesday, we're going to be talking about that, and I'm so excited that you'll be leading that portion. Thank you.
Yes, and it'll be fun. I promise it's going to be a fun event. It's not going to be what you're expecting at all. I really took the time to really make it a little different than what most people would think. Oh, a financial person is talking. They're probably going to talk about this. Like, no, I'm going to like spin it to make it fun, but make it personal. So you could feel better about it when you leave Moms Out Marketing. You're going to be like, okay, like I can have this conversation. I feel confident about it.
Yes, absolutely. And we always, all of our meetings, you leave inspired, and that's what's beautiful about it. We want these business owners, women, anybody who wants to network with us. You don't have to be a mom to network with us, but
Yeah.
a business owner that wants more, that wants to inspire others, really heart-led leaders. So if you know any businesses out there, invite them. If you're on the live, tag them, because we would love to build our community more. So we have our links right here at the bottom of the screen. Whoops, there we are.
Yay.
Moms Out Marketing. And then we're both on Instagram, Facebook, and then we just launched our website.
Yay.
Super excited, and we're offering mom memberships. So if you like information, just mention it in the comments. And I have one last question for you, Gina.
Yes.
Okay. What is your favorite part of being a mompreneur?
There's a lot of great parts to it. I really enjoy the relationships. I really enjoy, especially when I've met people like somebody like you, Sarah, who's like been a business owner for so many years, or other people who like all my life I've been a business owner. I love to hear their story because I'm like, wow, like it was in you when you were a kid. Like, but for me, I'm like, I'm new to this. So I love hearing those stories of like, wow, these people have been working on commissions or in sales. Like that's a hard thing to be on. So you kind of appreciate that the hustle on people and why they do what they do and what they've learned. But I also have really enjoyed, we do talk a lot about working from home and having a small business, but I think you also have to be smart in how you deal your time. So one of the things that I really love that I've learned to do it, I didn't learn it right away. Really set in my schedule well. So learning that in the morning I have, my kid and my kids to go to school, but then I always have a small amount of time, not small, maybe a good 2 hours where I go pick up my son, we go do something together. And I probably will go back into my work mode like around 4, but it gives me that kind of flexibility to still do some things that I need to do at home and spend time with the kids. But then I'm also like, okay, now it's back to get to work. So I've learned instead of trying to do it all, I can break it up, and I've liked that kind of break in between. So I've really learned to maximize that time when I'm off, so to speak, because I can do a lot more in that time than when in the beginning I was trying to do so many things at once and get everything together and be done by 2 p.m. when my son gets out of school. And it became so draining until I learned to really understand it's okay to have that time, but schedule it in. And then find some other time to go back to work for a little longer before the kids go back to sleep. So it's been fun kind of like being able to bring that. And it's almost like knowing right now I'm going to go pick up my son and I have a little bit of time to finish a couple of things with him, but then I get to come back and then, still be a mom, do things, and then get back to my work.
Oh my gosh. I'm a little distracted because she's so beautiful and I can't see her sweet face. But yes, you're so right. And that's one thing that we really try and incorporate with the Moms Out Marketing too is not just to embrace yourself as a mompreneur, nor just a business owner. We have so many sides, but also to recognize yourself as an individual.
Yes.
And it is so important to give yourself that time. So thank you for sharing that because I think that it is something that more entrepreneurs need to hear. Whether you're a mompreneur or even just, any small business owner or business owner, take time for you, and it has to be daily because
it has to be daily. Yes.
You're usually the last one on a list. I know how passionate our business owners are out there, and it's a beautiful thing. But fill your cup.
Well, and the other thing that you can relate before we log off is when you are working with your spouse too, then you even have to create some time for yourself separately. And then, of course, your marriage time. But even I've had to, before I was like everything, everybody. And like you said, at the end, me. And then every day I felt like everything's about everybody else and the business and everybody else. And then finally, when I added just that little time for myself, I feel like more things opened up for me. I looked at everything differently. And I realized, oh my God, I really do have control of my schedule. I just had to learn how to like manage it and not feel guilty, because I think most of the time I felt guilty for being a mom or, doing my business. And I could never get out of the cycle until I was intentional about it.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you touched on that because anybody who's ever felt mom guilt, let us know in the comments because we have all been there. And
yes,
please take some time today, if you're on, to give yourself some space, give yourself some grace, and see the difference. I have personally seen it, and magically it somehow gives you more time.
Yes,
your mind space and a better mindset to equip you for the daily challenges, the daily expectations that you have on yourself. So, Gina, thank you so much. Yes.
Last thing before we head out. So on Wednesday, what I'm raffling, it's First Bank on Me. Okay, it's gonna come with this little thing that you can show your kids, and even if you don't have kids or they're already out of the house, this could be your starting point for yourself. How to give, how to save, how to spend, how to invest. It's gonna come with a book that's called First Bank on Me, just understanding other basic principles of how to teach your kids or just yourself. And then the coolest thing is if you do have kids at the house, it comes with a magnetic chart of how you could boost certain activities or chores that can be how they make money. It's important to teach your kids that we work to get paid. but you could teach them early on as well. And it doesn't have to be every chore. Like I started it with my son, and there's only certain things that I'm like really focusing on him being getting paid for. And he's really enjoying that. I've kind of seen a different little thing in him that I'm like, okay, like he's liking work. I just never really introduced what that means to him. So I think this will really help you. So I'm raffling that on Wednesday. So I'm excited to see you. And please tag anybody. This is going to be a fun event.
Yay. Awesome, Gina. Thank you so much. I can't wait to learn more from you on Wednesday, 9:30. So where can you find the link to the event? Go on our Facebook, Moms Out Marketing LLC, go to events, and it's online, Master Your Wealth and Money with Gina Lopez from Consulta Finance, a 5 Rings financial company. Thank you so much for being with us today. And thank that sweet little girl right there. Oh my goodness. Let me see her face.
I'm so busy with mom's thing, but thank you so much, Sarah. And I'll also put my our website as well. But I know you have the Facebook. But if you want to see our website, who we are, what we do, that one gives you more info as well. But thank you so much, Sarah, for what you do. We're excited, and we will see you guys soon.
Okay, thanks so much. So everyone, hold on for just a moment. We'll be talking about our charity event. So Gina was amazing. Take the time, RSVP, and we'll share the link in this live too. So I'm going to share with you, though, also our charity event that has launched today, February 1st. So it's all through February. We are going to be gathering books, accepting new and gently used books for Read Across America. This is in collaboration with Monster Yogurt and Design Remodel Pros. We have several drop-off sites for you to share your donations with. So we have Aqua Tots, we have Minuteman Press Frisco, Kauai, Sunnyland, both located in Richardson, Dallas area, and Frisco, and then Design Remodel Pros. Sara Belmonte here. Once again, if you have some books that you'd like to donate, you can actually get free items or discounts at any of those businesses. We are excited because we got to share this today on Fox News and NBC5, and we want to raise 2,021 books, but we cannot do it without you. You know, speaking about the finances, many children and parents are out there struggling. Even small business owners are struggling, but we want to do something good, and we want people to be inspired to do something good for these children. So I hope that you are able to donate or visit, or even if you can't, share the event. Click going and just engage. We're going to have business owners going in their lives, sharing their childhood family favorite book and what reading has meant to them. And so if you're online, please share with us what reading has meant for you, because we want to keep inspiring children, because children are our legacy. And that is why Moms Out Marketing has been built. I think it's so important to build a business while also respecting your time with your family. So I look forward to spending more time with you as I enjoy the mom journey. Join us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, and have an absolutely blessed day. Talk to you really soon.